Hi, Maria Rebozo Lapine, Cultural Care Manager for Equality Health and host of Cafecito Time con Equality Health. Welcome to our studio. I have my guest today, Carina Garcia. Carina is the lead care specialist for Equality Health. Carina and her team are part of Equality Health's care team. They help break down barriers that prevent our members from reaching their health and wellness goals. They also help them get back to the pathway to better health. In this segment, we are going to talk about newborn screenings and wellness visits for our little guys. If you're a first-time mom, or you already have children, or if you're the grandma that's taking care of your grandchildren, this segment is for you. As parents, we want to make sure our children live healthy lives. Let's help them by giving them the best start. And while you're listening to the Cafecito segment, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you'll know when the next Cafecito is ready to be viewed. Carina, thank you so much and welcome to our studio here at Equality Health.
No, thank you for having me, Maria.
You know, Carina, about 2 months ago, I have a good friend who just had a baby. And she calls me one day and she's telling me about all the doctor's appointments that she has and she doesn't know why she has to have them. And I thought, if she's struggling with that and wondering and a little bit scared, I figured there's a lot of people out there that are going through the same thing. So I know that's what you do at Equality Health. You help our members, you guide them, you answer their questions, you connect them to resources. So I thought you would be the perfect person to give us some information.
Well, thank you, Maria.
Yes, and thank you again for being here. So let's start right away. What are newborn screenings and where do they take place?
So newborn screenings are tests that are done on newborns within 1 to 3 days of baby being born. Typically, they are done in the hospital. They're getting blood work done, hearing tests, and of course, any vaccines that need to be done. Of course, we do have those situations where maybe mom didn't make it on time or we have a home delivery. So we also want to make sure that those screenings are scheduled within 1 to 3 days of baby being born, because it is very important to making sure that those screenings tests are done, to making sure there's nothing underlying that we're not seeing physically on baby.
Carina, I'm glad that you shared that about if the baby's not born in the hospital, because my friend actually had her baby at home. So I'm glad that you covered that because I think that's happening more and more these days. A question that you wanted me to make sure that I asked you is, do these screenings hurt my baby?
So the one screening that I think parents panic the most, and I can definitely tell you myself, I did when I saw it being done on my baby, is the blood test. It gets done in the heel. They just feel very minimal discomfort, to be honest with you. And the puncture gets healed right away. No scarring left at all.
And thank you for sharing your baby, because how old is your baby?
My baby's 1.5 years.
A year and a half. So you're going through all this
Yes.
as well. So then you're the perfect expert, because you can talk as a mom and you can talk as an expert as well in the topic. So again, thank you. What a blessing to have you here. Another thing, I know that besides the newborn screenings, there are additional screenings that are done as the baby grows. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, so there's additional screenings and several visits actually that are, done from newborn to 15 months. So you are looking at about 7 visits. They start off, of course, at 1 to 3 days, then a week, a month, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, up to they get to that 15 month. In that same screening, again, they're doing tests to making sure baby's developing well, there's no underlying health condition or there's a delay in, development. Again, behavioral health, it's another thing that they'll look at. Is baby weighing what they're supposed to be weighing? Is the head circumference supposed to be where it's supposed to be at? Again, the vaccines. Making sure that we build that baby's immunity high, especially nowadays with everything that's going on. We want to make sure that our baby's immune system is as strong as possible.
Well, you're talking about a lot of doctor visits in that first year, year and a half of the baby. Are these covered by Medicaid insurance?
Absolutely. They're absolutely covered. No copay. Even on that, the great thing is with Medicaid, if parents are, let's say, lack of transportation is an issue, Medicaid will pay for it. Going to the appointment, they'll pick them up. from home, take them to the appointment. Once they're ready, they'll take them back home, even if they have to stop at a pharmacy. The transportation will stop at the pharmacy before they get home.
I don't know about you, but I didn't know that. That's amazing. So if you have Medicaid insurance, you don't pay no out-of-pocket cost.
No.
And they help with transportation. So I want to talk about the transportation because some of us have more than one child. Could I take my other children in that transport?
Absolutely, and that is something that we can also help. So let's say it's your first time even dealing with transportation. As long as we know how many passengers, so let's say you have other children, obviously they're not at school and you're gonna have them with you, just let us know how many passengers are included so that way the driver knows.
That's perfect. That's amazing. That's a great benefit. You know, I think a lot of us don't know the benefits that our insurance offers.
Yes.
And I know that's one of the things that you help. So
Yes.
make sure that you reach out to your provider, to your health plan, to make sure you take advantage of everything that your health plan offers.
Yes.
So one last question is, I know that at least for my friend and even for me, sometimes we struggle finding the right pediatrician for our baby. What tips can you give us on what we should look for? What can we do?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, as a parent, you want to make sure you have that connection with the provider, not just the provider, but the staff. Not only that, feel comfortable to be with somebody that's going to speak your native language to understand what's being told by the provider as far as what are the next steps, what is it that you need to look out for your child as they're growing up. As well as if, like me, I'm a working mom. So I need to make sure that my child's provider has late hours or weekend hours so I can be able to take her and not miss those well-child visits. So that's another thing that you also want to make sure to look at. So having somebody you're going to trust, somebody that's going to work with your schedule, somebody that you're going to be able to understand in your native language. And like I said, just have that trust because they're taking care of your child's health.
You know, that trusting relationship is so important. And I talk often during my segments about having a provider that you truly trust so that you can share the information. But also, these doctor visits with our children, a lot of the times, this is the first time we're going through them and we don't know what to ask. So that's why having that trusting relationship and saying, doctor, can you explain that again? I didn't quite understand exactly what you meant. So that is important. So if I have a provider for my child, am I stuck with that provider if I'm not so comfortable with him or I don't, maybe the convenient hours are not there? Do I have to stay with that provider?
No, you do not. So, and that's another thing that we're here for. So if a reason why you're not taking your child to those well-child visits is because you don't have that comfort or that trust level, call us. Give us a call and we'd be more than happy to find your provider that you're going to have that connection with.
I'm amazed by the information you just covered here today. I think that a lot of us don't know, like I said, is our health plans and what they offer. Thank you so much. I know that if my friend is watching right now, you have given her some peace of mind. So thank you for being here today. As I mentioned before, as parents, we want to make sure our children live healthy lives. Let's help them by giving them the best start. You heard Carina. The health plan covers these visits at no cost. There's transportation that's available. You're not stuck with that provider if you're not connecting well with them. And of course, here at Equality Health, these are the things that we help our members with. Thank you for joining us today, and cheers to staying healthy.